What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, holy fuck, all of these beam weapon changes are absolute insanity. Now, this video was actually going to be something completely different. I was just going to try and give you guys, the ones to watch out for. However, as I kind of like went through the list, I just started writing down every single one, and I was like, you know what, let's just fucking cover every single weapon. However, we're not going to cover every single one. I am going to kind of omit the ones that do have upgrades, so things like the Ignis Wraith, the Quanta Vandal, those ones are going to be there, but the Ignis is not, the Quanta's not going to be there, the Synoid's not, because we have the Synoid Gamma Core, so we're not playing with the lower level ones, we're only giving you the top tier shit. I'm actually going to be going down the list, so you guys know that this is going to start off from lower mastery rank to the higher mastery rank, so when we start off, it's going to ramp up a little bit, but I do need to put a little bit of a disclaimer for you guys on this video. Some of the polarities you're going to see, some of the builds you're going to see are a little bit wonked out because of said polarities, and that's mainly because of the fact that I'm an old man. Some of these weapons were out in damage 1.0, and I was on my hustle back in the days. I was trying to make some of these weapons work for me, and then damage 2.0 out and crapped on us, and we got status per second, and then all of a sudden everything just went to shit. Some mods weren't released before there, so certain things don't quite fit or don't quite add up. So bear in mind, what I'm going to be showing you guys is the potential of a lot of these weapons. Some of them, like, they perform already, but you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm just giving you an idea of how they could perform with like a highly optimized build if you wanted to go ahead and invest in them. I'm just bringing some of these out of my closet because they were getting all kinds of dusty, and let me tell you, even with the wonky builds we're going to be taking a look at today, they are kicking some serious fucking ass. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Flux Rifle. Now this one has been out for ages. This was the icon way back in the day of Endgame, and it's not quite that now. However, it is definitely still putting in some serious work. You'd actually be surprised with how well this weapon works against 155s. As you can see, we've got Mr. Billy over here, and we're kind of plinking away at him with some slash damage. So as you can see, we gotta wait for the battery to charge back up, and then we can get back in there, and he's out. That's not something like, listen, that would have been 10 times more painful with the Flux Rifle before these beam changes happen, but even now, it's not bad. There's even a mod that I was considering putting on, which is, I think, one of like the specialized mod for it, where its status chance like fluctuates, where its status chance fluctuates between like a certain percentage. It was weird, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna keep it straight. We're just gonna keep it straight up. We're not going to do any of the weird fancy things. See, it's hard for me to like finish a sentence with the word straight in it. It kind of like disturbs me. Regardless, let's go ahead and move on down this list and take a look at the Galaxian. Now this one was on the struggle bus for quite a while. This one was not one of my favorites. It was just, it was sad to me. It hurt my soul. However, we actually went ahead and paired up a little bit of a build today. Now, I usually, I actually put heavy caliber on this before, and that might still work, but one of the things that I kind of liked about it was the fact that you could kind of like hit the armor directly and kind of like strip that really quickly. So I went ahead and put vigilante armaments in there. If you don't necessarily feel like that's something that you want to do, go ahead and toss on a heavy caliber. It's your build, it's your life, whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to show you exactly what you can do with this weapon, and you can, it's actually pretty surprising at how well this thing performs as compared to way back in the day. Look at that! Look at that! Did you see that? He just like came through. Like I always say, with corrosive builds, at first, the first few ticks you're like, we ain't doing shit, and then all of a sudden towards the end, it just goes, and then all of a sudden the enemy's dead. Like, they're just dead. So if you like the Galaxian way back in the day, go ahead, give it another shot, bring it out of your closets. Also, one thing that you might note with that build that I was using, I did not use fire in it. I actually went ahead and just put in another ice thing. The reason I put another ice thing in there is because I hate blast, and it's a Galaxian. So I mean, why not embrace the cold, right? Next up on the list, and let me tell you right now, I was looking at this and I was like, really? By the way, you can tell how OG I am because this was before the Ignis, the Wraith weapons could be tinted, so I just literally haven't touched it since then. But let's go ahead and take a look at the build first. Look at me walking away from it. This one, is a powerhouse. Heavy caliber I went ahead and left in there because it does have an AoE at the end of it. It spouts out like, it spreads out to about 3 meters for that AoE. And one of the things you will notice, I should put a Shred Prime in here, so that it can pierce through terrain. But as you can see right now, it's functioning quite well even without it. It's definitely one of those things I will probably revisit and go ahead and toss some extra format into, because legit, it's fantastic. So as it stands right now, terrain will actually stop this, but if you have punch through in there, you can go ahead and put that on, and what'll end up happening is it'll pierce through the terrain, and it can even, if you've got enough punch through it, can go through certain walls. So definitely keep that in mind. I know some of you really missed that feature because now terrain collision will stop the flame, but get yourself a little prime shred. You're gonna be fine and dandy. Moving on, we have the Convectrix. Now this one, I will admit that I had a little bit of trouble with. The original version, I was like, you got some weird fucking gimmick going on, and I'm not buying the rest of your shit. So for those of you guys who've never seen the Convectrix, basically, it's what we call the scissors gun. So as you can see, it's got 2 little blades that kind of come together like a pair of scissors, or can go outwards if you use alternate fire. However, this one, as you can see with the build, is a little bit strange. I'm trying to play around with it, like some of the polarities just definitely aren't working. It's got a like 2.4 times critical multiplier, and it's got a meh critical chance. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe we'll go Hunter's Munitions, we can go Vigilante Armaments. I'm just giving you guys an idea of where you can go with this, because back in the day, this thing was garbaggio. Like, it was really, really terrible, and we are 1 mod down, so keep that in mind when you take a look at how it kind of plays. But even then, it still plays pretty freaking well, right? It's still doing quite well for itself. So the Convectrix, definitely, we're 1 mod down on it, and it's still performing halfway decently. So keep that in mind when you are judging this weapon based off of this gameplay. I was actually thinking maybe Vigilante Armaments for potentially more slash procs. I tried to maim in it earlier. I didn't feel as good, so part of me was kind of like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I'm thinking Vigilante Armaments so that you get more shots, you know, in a second, and you have more chances to go ahead and apply the status. I tried Hunter's Munitions. It just doesn't have enough critical in there for me to really be like, oh yeah, we gotta use Hunter's Munitions in this because it's a slash-based weapon. But, ooh, this one I'm kind of excited about, because for those of you guys who don't remember, the Panthera was such a fucking cool concept, and I was like, oh my god, Panthera, it's so amazing. It's like a fucking, it's like a chainsaw and a fucking disc thrower at the same time. I was like, oh my god, it's so good. I even have a Riven for it, which I did not include on this build just because, you know, I don't want to play that game with you guys. I don't want to mess with you guys like that. Plus, it's got negative status chance on that, so we have to re-roll that. You know what? Maybe we should do a Riven re-rolling for the Panthera, because it's not terrible now. It's definitely not terrible. So as you guys know, it's primary fire. It shoots off a disc, but its alternate fire is what got changed in this. And basically, for those who can't see it, it's got a little chainsaw action going on. And boom, it's done. Now, I did read somewhere in the patch notes that right now it's 4 ammo consumed per hit, which is not its intended consumption. They're going to be changing it to 1 in the next hotfix. So, you know, if you feel like it's eating through your ammo right now, just ignore that. That's not its intended, it's not its final form, is what we're going to say. But I want to say the Panthera is slowly but surely living up to its old name, because I mean it's such a badass concept, and now slowly but surely the Panthera is coming to life, and I kind of love it. Ooh, now here's another one that we have not seen in quite a while, the Synapse. I was looking at it, and I was literally, when I was trying it, I was like, oh, it's got 13% status chance. I don't know about that. Is 13% status chance really gonna be all that great? It kind of is. So this is the setup that I have for it currently. And I was like, well, you certainly told me there, Mr. Synapse. It's also got base corrosive, which you can pair. The cool thing is, I think I did base corrosive on this, just strictly corrosive, just to keep the armor, kind of like set down, and just be able to strip it real fast. So as you can see, that guy, basically, we breathed on him with the Synapse, and then he died. which is the fantastic part. But I'm actually considering trying a little bit of viral on this, so as we kind of like strip off the armor, let's try that now. Let's try that now. So that as we strip off the armor, we're kind of getting in some viral damage, which is going to deal more damage, of course, to our little Billy the Bombard over there. So let's give that a shot. If we can grab some rhymed rounds, elemental PQR, rhyme rounds, and then we can kind of judge it in live. We can judge it live and see exactly how it feels, because 100% corrosive is amazing, but it's great at stripping armor. I think that it works either way, to be completely honest with you. So Synapse, definitely a winner in this one. Whichever way you want to play, go ahead and give that one a shot. That's fantastic. And the counterpoint to go along with that, I heard some people crying. Some people crying over the Amprex. Didn't quite do the math. Didn't think very, very hard about it. But I'm telling you right now, the Amprex, it was fine. Y'all were paranoid. But my red crits, I get it. It still does the fucking job, though. So you're going to have to calm your tits on that one. As you can see, I put on a little bit of Argon Scope for some orange crits for the people at home who were very, very sad about it. We even have Hunter's Munitions on there. If you want, you could try this out with Heavy Caliber, because I did have Heavy Caliber on it originally. But this is what I had space for, so I wanted to go ahead and show you its functionality. And at least we get orange crits out of it, so you guys don't feel as bad, okay? Don't feel so bad, because this weapon is pretty fucking impressive. And if you can think about the fact that this is doing area of effect damage, or you know, it's jumping on from enemy to enemy, like it's kind of like, oh my god, let's try two. I haven't tried two with this yet. So well, listen, we did the Synapse some justice and showed how it worked with one, but let's go ahead and give this a shot. The secondary is going to be fine, because literally we're focusing on one, and this one should have its armor. Who was worried? Who was really worried? Because I feel like the Amprex came through and kind of won that one. Y'all sad about your red crits, but literally, Amprex, you and me, we're going to have some talking, and we're going to have some revisiting, because that was a good time. Now, we get into my excitement territory. Where are you, damn Quanta Vandal? Damn you, Quanta Vandal. Number one, Vandals, you know, they can now be tinted appropriately. So it's looking gorgeous. Alright? And then at the same time, Quanta Vandal came through. And Quanta Vandal, I'm very happy with it. I'm currently very, very happy with it. I believe it did get a boost to its critical chance too, so that's why I'm kind of like running hybrid critical and status build. And as you guys know, hybrid critical and statuses, they work very, very well together, you know? So as you can see right now, it's beautiful and it's wonderful and it's glorious. I just love it so much. Now, for those of you guys who are a little bit newer to the Quanta Vandal, I want to go ahead and show you the alternate fire to kind of go along with it. So, we'll go ahead and we'll zap this guy. We're going to kind of strip off some armor first. We'll do a little bit of that. And we'll blow him away like that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a good day. I don't know how that was an orange crit. I really don't. I'm not doing any kind of witchcraft for you, but literally Quanta Vandal coming through right now, about halfway. Boom. I don't know where that orange crit is coming from. I really have no clue. Let's not tell DE about that one. Let's just leave that in. Listen, as I always say, if it's good, you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it if it's good, because you don't want to ruin any kind of good things. But as you can see here, we're gonna do a little bit of... Oh, did I miss? There you go. A little bit of that action. Oh, I did not perform well on that last one. But regardless, the Quanta Vandal definitely one to pay some goddamn attention to. In fact, we're going to do it one more time because I just love it so much. I'm sorry. I'm determined to get a good shot. Where are these? Oh, because we've got Vigilante Armaments. Oh, yes, I forgot. That's why. Vigilante Armaments at work. Thank you for holding up your end of the bargain. Now, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and show off the Phage. And I was very, very curious because the Phage runs off of shotgun mods. So I was like, exactly how is this gonna work? Is it still gonna be good? Will we be friends after this? And let me tell you, the Phage and all of its tentacle glory, it came through for the kids and the cousins too. Legitimately, we are using, I believe we are going in with a little bit of a blast. You know how I feel about the blasts. Not so happy, but think about it this way. All right, it's got so many tentacles kind of like shooting out there. You know, it's got so many of those tentacles that, you know, you kind of like grasp in on enemies, and you grasp in on the enemies, and you'll probably do a little bit of stroking. And as you're stroking them, you're probably going to be applying some blast proc. So it's good. It's good CC. It's good CC. And I have to say, this one I was shocked about. And you'll notice on the build too. And I don't know if this is a hint of times to come or what's coming up for DE in the future or something. Because what you'll notice in the build that we actually put up, it goes above 100% status. Which I was like, what is going on? Right? I'm not crazy. Let me make sure. 105% status. Are you trying to tell us something, DE? What is going on with that? One of the things that you could actually try, and I'm not sure if we can we make it work here? Can we maybe drop that a little bit? Well, maybe we'll do a little dropping of that. And then let's go ahead and get that down here, and maybe let's try out. Let's drop it down to like 68%, and let's go ahead and see if we can fit in maybe a little bit of blunderbuss, action. And maybe a little bit of, oh, I don't know if we'll be able to fit it. Will we be able to fit it? Where are you, Baby Cakes? Primed Ravage. Let's give that a shot and see how that works. Because it does have a 19% base critical chance. So now we're going to try a little bit of a hybrid build. So you know what? You got to experiment. We're here. We're doing work for everybody. We want to make sure that everybody kind of knows what's going on and what's up. The critical build, it's alright. It's alright. I kind of like the other one just a little bit better. Feel, like that one did not, I mean, I could be crazy. Listen, kids, you judge at home. You let me know how you felt about the blast version, because, after this, we're gonna go ahead and move into the secondaries, and the secondaries are kind of impressive too, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm like, oh my god, it's actually kind of fucking fantastic. What I'm noticing is because we haven't, because corrosive was not featured as heavily in that build, that's kind of like what it wasn't doing. It wasn't stripping. It wasn't stripping anywhere as much as we needed it to strip with that corrosive damage. So a little bit up and, you know, back and forth on that. I think the first build was a little bit stronger, but let's take a look at secondaries now. Now the Atmos, technically the bottom of the barrel of this one, and I did kind of shift things up a little bit. As you can see, we're running a little bit of a crossbreed between status and crit again. We're doing a little bit of a hybrid. We are one mod short, so you know we're gonna have to fix up modding for this one. But it does show some serious promise just being one mod short, right? Because literally, and you have to keep in mind, this is bouncing from enemy to enemy, so this is gonna be hitting multiple people at once. So pretty damn good if I do say so myself. It's not bad at all, and I think if we put in like an extra, status, ooh, if we ran with maybe, okay, hear me out, if we ran with maybe blast on this. I know blast isn't my favorite, but if we put like a, you know, a little status elemental on it, and we had ruinous extension, it was bouncing from place to place, legitimately it would be knocking enemies down. It would be chain knocking enemies down, which is kind of like hilarious. And then at the same time, we'd be stripping off their armor, and it would be bouncing all over the place. This is definitely, you know what, we're gonna do a little experiment. I wonder if we can fit it. I don't think we can fit it. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll check back with you in a future episode. We'll go ahead and take a look at it then, and we'll go ahead and cover exactly how it works after that. But let's go ahead and move on to the new core. Now, I'm not playing. Now, I know some of y'all out there are running around with your crazy ass little builds for it, and you could do that. You could definitely do that if you wanted to. I would say just drop the Scorch and go ahead and put in your primed target cracker. However, I'm not doing that now. I know y'all love that build too. I know you guys love that critical build, but I'm just gonna show it at its base without any craziness attached to it. Because you can pull out your Adarza and get a critical boost off of it, but even then, baby, even then, look at how good it works without the crazy criticalness. You get an Adarza in there though. You get an Adarza, which, you know, my Adarza is currently sleeping, not in stasis, because its Smita brethren is out and about. So, you know, that's kind of not working for it. But legitimately, this thing is doing some serious work, and it's got a little CC in it. Remember, this thing does have radiation. Oh, you know what? Why don't you... listen, he's stripped naked. So why don't I just strip both of you naked? Remember, this is what... we call this the Gadiation gun way back in the day. Come on, just kill each other, please. For me? Do it for me. Do it for me. Come on, kill each other for me. I love it when men fight over me. It always makes me quite happy. But as you can see, Nucor is doing some work. This one I might have to revisit too and kind of like show you how it all works with an Adarza. Actually, you know what? No, because it's not additive critical chance, right? We'll revisit. Spectra. After I do just a little bit of work. Now the Spectra is a weapon that I hated, and you're gonna see how much I hate it in a second. I did not give this any love, and for the video that I was actually gonna go ahead and work on, I was like, oh, the best, you know, the weapons that have improved the most. And I told myself as I was testing this out, if this shows any promise, I'm gonna have to put some mods into it. Motherfucker, I'm gonna have to like fucking put some forma into it, because legit, it's actually pretty gosh darn good. And you have to keep in mind where it came from before was utter garbage, and now it's actually kind of holding up its end of the deal. It's 2 mods short, and it's still kind of doing the job. So part of me is like, all right, Spectra, you and me, we're gonna have to like get together, and we're gonna have to work out our old relationship issues, because I had no faith in you before, but it looks like you might have turned the corner. Maybe you found Jesus. I don't know exactly what has happened with you, but it seems like you're on the straight and narrow now, and I'm not gonna hate on you for it, you know what I mean? So Spectra, definitely check that one out, because I'm shocked. I was shocked that it could actually do what this is. And I have to remind you guys, all of these enemies that we're showing this on is level 155 bombards. Think about how this would perform anywhere in the star chart. I think it's fine and freaking dandy. Now, speaking of weapons that a lot of people didn't have faith in, and I still, I'm not gonna say that I'm 100% sold. But I am going to say that it's pretty fucking good, the Sycron. So this is kind of like the current setup that we are running with it right now. Back in the day, I actually did a lot of magazine capacity work with this. But I think that this will speak for itself. Because this one has definitely got some new life breathed into it. Our favorite Tron up, and you guys can see how much I hate Blast, right? You can see how much I hate Blast, but it's dead. And look at how fast it's recharging now. So its recharge rate is pretty quick. If you can actually, if you do want to like work with this and hit multiple targets at once, you could go ahead and swap something out for a magazine size, a magazine capacity thing, or and get rid of the blast on it, because blast is just, it makes me upset. But as you can see, against level 155s, it's doing some work. It's doing some serious work. Very happy with it. Now, this is, you know how me and the Spectra didn't get along? You know, I just wasn't checking for the Spectra. Me and the Spectra were not friends. Me and the Embolist, however, were arch nemeses. We did not like each other. We were not fond of each other in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that I like them now. I'm not. I'm really not. I even went ahead and tried this out with the Syndicate mod for it. Did not like it. And I mean, I did that today. Like, I tried it out today. Still not 100% on it. Still feel like there's other beam weapons that I like a little bit better than this. However, I will admit, it's definitely not garbage anymore. It's just what it is. So as you can see, it stripped armor very, very quickly there. but it still took more than a magazine in order to take him down. And I know you're saying, you know, you could go ahead and put on that magazine capacity thing, but I don't know. It's also an AoE weapon, so it does have a little bit of a girth to it, but it's only like a 1 meter girth. So a part of me is like, I don't know, but I have to keep in mind this is level 155, so I could literally, what I do like about it is it just kind of, you can just kind of fart at enemies with it. Like, you see the little farts that you can kind of emit? Like a little waft of gas in their face. That I find entertaining. Now, last but definitely not fucking least. Oh my god. Oh my god. Listen, I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. I can't, there's nothing else for me to say about this. Look at that critical chance. When it's all modded up, 57 with a status chance of 61. That is kind of like into act stiletto territory. So 20% critical chance, 28% status. I believe that act stiletto is 18 and 18, right? Let me make sure of that before I commit. It is 15 and 30. Never mind, I was wrong. What was 18 and 18? There was something else that was 18 and 18. I just can't put my fingers on it. But, so they're kind of running in the same circles. As you can see here, the Synoid Gamma Core has a little bit more crit chance and just a couple percent less, less status. They're in this, they're friends. They're friends, and I will be completely honest with you. Like, this is worth it. Even though the base damage is magnetic, which I'm not super fond of, but evaporated. Now if you don't want to think about it, you don't want to have any thoughts in your brain, you mod this up for corrosive, and then you have the base magnetic, and now you just listen. If you want to take on Grenier, fantastic. Any armored units, stripped. You want to take on any any Corpus factions, there goes their shields. Boom. That's pretty much almost every single faction that's out there, you know what I mean? The only thing you gotta worry about this is with the Infested, and even Corrosive works well on the Ancients. So as you can see, like, it covers everything, and it has cool fucking effects that go along with it. So I'm gonna say, definitely pick up the Synoid Gamma Core. If you haven't already, make it a priority, because it will, listen, it'll wash your car, it'll pay your rent, it'll do all of those kind of things for you. Just get it taken care of, put some form on it, and you will have a happy day. Regardless, as you can tell, these beam changes are pretty goddamn legit. If you guys have not checked it out, I know that there are some that are still slightly, I won't say slightly underperforming, because, you know, not every weapon can be the best weapon out there. That's just how it works, you know. There's always going to be a best. There's always going to be a top tier. However, for any of you guys who have, like, some kind of, like, drive and emotional attachment to these, like, you know, maybe the old Flux Rifle or the Panthera, or, you know, I love the Synoid Gamma Core for a long time, so I'm happy to see it kind of come up, right? You know? This was, like, back in the day. I was there with the Synoid Gamma Core when it first came out, and it was, like, OP, and then they nerfed it, and I was still repping for it. I'm like, you're still good, baby. You can still do it. Now the Synoid Gamma Core came through. He had their come up, and then all of a sudden, he's doing craziness, and you gotta applaud the man, right? Regardless, that about does it for now. Let me know what you guys think about the beam changes. What weapons are you going to be dusting off from out of the backs of your closets? Let me know which one you are the most excited to play along with, or maybe did you have a weapon that you trashed that you're like, God damn it, I trashed it and now I gotta bring it back because it looks like it's doing some serious work. Whatever it is, go ahead and let me know that in the comments below. But that about does it for me for now. Again, we will be revisiting certain things, kind of like that Atmos, so stay tuned to the channel for that kind of stuff. And that's pretty much it for now, at least. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your beam. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.